Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai
the laptop.
Nice one. Water, madam. Water.
On my table.
I'll bring. Ramana. It's hard to admit, so it's not coming. I tried. You have to do with me.
Admit all you put.
I did, but it is not coming. Something has to be done. We don't know. I lost something.
Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Today morning or yesterday evening, we received an email from one of you saying that, during today's satsang we were told to see without seeing, eat without taste, etc. But when it happens so, won't we be doing it without awareness? It means we are doing it half-heartedly, doing something without enjoying. Will there be perfection then? Please kindly take us deeper in that. It is not at all on that line, Papa said. When we shift our priority to God thought, though we are looking the object minus all the labeled one. And we are seeing the God dimension. So it is neither imperfect nor half-hearted. Papa says, this will give you more clarity. The devotee cries to God, "O Lord, my eyes are not thirsty to see you, ears are not eager to hear your glories. Sleep is absolutely out of my control. In this condition, where is the possibility of my realizing you? How can I forget the world? By forgetting the world alone, the inner awakening comes. When your thirst for God is intense, all the senses are unattached to the objects of the world. They become perfectly pure, calm, controlled. When your thirst for God is intense, all the senses are unattached to the objects of the world. They become perfectly pure, calm, and controlled. Sense objects should not disturb or attract you. If they do, you are unfit for sadhana. Sure. There must be a real hunger for God. The longing for jnana or moksha should be intense. Then the world has no attraction for you. Else, the mind longs for the pleasures of the senses, with the result that God remembrance and meditation become impossible. To illustrate this, the example of the hen sitting on the eggs for hatching is given. She concentrates her whole mind on the eggs. That you can find out from her eyes. The eyes are vacant. They see and see not. Such must be the concentration of one seeking the Atman. The Gita says the seeker of God should be like the tortoise, which withdraws its limbs whenever it wants. Likewise, we should withdraw our senses and not allow them to go outward. Spiritual practice becomes possible only if it is backed up by Vairagya. Mere external Vairagya will not do. Inner Vairagya must be there. That is born of sincere, wholehearted aspiration to realize God. When the heart aspires, the Indriyas do not function in the manner they did before. They function harmlessly without hankering after objects. They cooperate with you in your quest. When you have intense Vairagya, the practice of meditation and concentration becomes fruitful. Otherwise, there will be a tug of war within you, a protracted struggle in which the Indriyas seek to go outwards and your mind strives to go inward. It is this problem that Arjuna posed before Sri Krishna. I intellectually understand you, but I cannot practice it because the mind is as restless as the wind. How can I control it? How can I fix it on one point within myself? And Sri Krishna said, Asamshayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Krishyati. It is true, Arjuna, mind is difficult to control. It is restless, but there is a way to do it through Abhyas and Vairagya. If there is no Vairagya, the spiritual aspirant cannot succeed in realizing the truth. This Vairagya is mainly a state of inner renunciation, a condition of the mind. So it is very clear, the senses, it is not that we become half-hearted. All the senses are unattached to the objects of the world. They become perfectly pure, calm. So that means when we say that you should see without, look without seeing, hear without listening, eat without tasting, this is the outcome of our sadhana. If we practice it now at our level today, it will be impossible. Because the senses are not in our control. But as we said yesterday, even during our life so far lived, there have been many instances where when we are concentrating on something intensely, we do not become aware of the person or the thing before us. He may be very close to us. He would have wished us, greeted us, but we would not be able to see. Our eyes are open. So many things are there, but we do not see them. That means our priority, the mind has prioritized on something else, because of which we are unable to see the object or the person. If that can happen in our daily life, when that object of concentration is shifted to him, naturally the same will be the result. Look without seeing. So this is not a thing that it cannot be practiced. It is the outcome of our sadhana. We should be very clear about it. It is an outcome of the process. So it cannot be intellectually understood and then we start practicing it. No.
Understand, sir.
It is the outcome of our practice. The process takes us to that. Are we clear?
Very clear, Swamiji, very clear.
Some people have asked for the particular portion yesterday which we read. We have sent it today. And anything else? Again on the same subject, Papa says that the secret that you are the Atman you can know only from the Guru. Neither gods or books can let you in that secret. What is the path? Constant thinking of God by repeating Ramnam. Repeating Ramnam means remembering God. You must know you are chanting the name of your own self. Then realization of the self becomes easy. If you take God to be outside your progress, outside you, progress becomes very slow. Believe at first He is within you. Experience will follow. If you accept that there is a place called Kashi, there is a chance of your reaching it. You will get the necessary guidance about the route. By following it, you will reach Kashi. In the same way, you must believe the words of saints when they say God is within you and His name will lead you to Him and make you realize Him. Then you set about finding Him as directed by the Guru. When you repeat the name with all faith and devotion, you will enjoy an ecstasy which comes from within. You get it independent of all external circumstances. When you once taste the name, then other things will taste insipid. But you must have the foretaste of it before real detachment come to you. Once, when Ramdas was wandering in the streets of Govardhan, he heard from a distance the singing of Ramnam, and he was drawn to that place. About 10 to 12 Bengalis were singing Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, with cymbals in chorus. It seemed as if one alone was singing with a loud voice. They produced such a vibration in the atmosphere that all those who were listening, including Ramdas, were lost in a divine rapture. It was a wonderful sight. He sat there for 3 hours until the bhajan ended at midnight. The whole night that music was ringing in Ramdas's ears. It was a blissful night. He had no sleep. In those days, he had hardly any sleep. His tongue was uttering the name. His ears were drinking in sweetness. He was losing himself in that sound. Sometimes Ramdas used to go to solitude, quiet place, so that the sweet sound of Ramnam he was chanting might not be drowned in the noises of the world. So remembrance, that's what Papa wants to hammer into our brain. We are all chanting, but this aspect probably would not have gone deep into us. Intellectually, we know that we have to remember Him. But something else also should take place to remember Him, no? So when he said, the object is to still the mind, stilling the mind is not so easy when it is running about, then you realize you are the Atman. Look without seeing, hear without listening, eat without tasting. That is the thing you have to attain through longing for God. So it is the outcome of the process. It is very clear. We cannot practice it now. It does not come to you if you merely wish for it. It is a result of intense longing for God. And yesterday we were telling about, there should be interactive action, and for which what is needed is deeper contemplation. So when we went back from this, we were going through Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and in the chapter 18, sloka 64, 63, he says, I have explained everything to you. Now you think over it and do what you want to do. The word vimarsha has been explained. That means reflection. Any amount of listening cannot make one gain wisdom. Any amount of listening cannot make one gain wisdom. The knowledge gained through reading or listening must be assimilated and brought within the warp and woof of our understanding. Warp and woof, It should get integrated, Then alone can a knowledge become wisdom. Knowledge will fade away, wisdom will stay with us, Therefore, Arjuna is asked not to accept Krishna's song of life as such, but he has been asked to independently think over all that the Lord had declared, to put the idea, now beautiful word, to put the ideas between the mind and the intellect, and to chew them properly is reflection. Masticate, no? Just like the cow's dung, through the mastication. Similarly, to put the ideas between the mind and intellect and to chew them properly is reflection. Each one will have to get his own individual confirmation from his own bosom. We attend Satsang, agreed. We go through various books of Papa or any other Mahatmas. If it is not coupled with this reflection, the purpose of reading will not be effective. So this chewing, to put the ideas between the mind and the intellect and to chew them properly is reflection. Each one will have to get his own individual confirmation from his own bosom. That is why Papa said in a simple language, seek guidance always from within. If what Ramdas says is in agreement with your inner voice, follow it. Don't accept Ramdas' suggestion without a sanction from within. The more a man becomes reflective and meditative, the nearer he approaches the true springs of life. Same idea. Now we understand, we have been hearing, so many words of wisdom of so many saints through so many people. Why it has not had any impact in us? Because as soon as the hearing is over, we forget about it. As somebody was telling yesterday, when we were in our school days, every day we used to be, they forcefully give us homework, So that next day when we go to the school, the thread is kept alive. Otherwise we may forget. Because in the homework, that itself means you are working at home. Where the teacher will not be there, you have to go through the text, you have to answer it. So this manana takes place, reflection. That is how we were all initiated into this manana aspect. We did not know that, now we come to know. At that time, to please the master, teacher, or in our days, to avoid get beatings, we do all these things, because the next day they will ask. If it is not there, we will be punished. So, not because of reflection, but out of saving our skin, we were doing it. But the purpose of asking us to do homework was to initiate us into the process of doing manana or reflection. So this explanation of Swami Chinmayanandji in the that was so captivating, that words. I will again read. Any amount of listening cannot make one gain wisdom. Third. The sloka is itite jnanam akhyadam guhyad guhyadaram maya vimarshetat aseshena yatechasi tathakuru. This is, after giving a long lecture, must be, out of 700, now you can say 637 slogas. Again, you reduce 100 components. After 550 slogas, he does not say that you should do this. Try to think over what I said and decide for yourself your course of action. The teacher does not dictate what the student should do. A good teacher can tell you what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is false, and make your mind grasp these ideas. Then it is left to you to take your own decisions. There is no compulsion, no kind of sermonizing or forcing people to accept a code of conduct. Highly cultured people need only a little understanding of things. They know how to decide for themselves. Therefore, Sri Krishna uses this wonderful expression, as you think proper, you do. So the message to all of us is that we are hearing, we are reading. But when we take up Papa's any words, now for example, this look without seeing, Initially we may get this confusion, nothing wrong in it, because we have not applied our mind, but again we go and go, then it becomes clear, oh. And then it becomes very clear to us. So the knowledge gets transformed into wisdom. Because of the process of this reflection, it stays with us. Anytime we need, it comes by itself. The mind is so trained that when the knowledge gets transformed into wisdom, the mind is prompted automatically by the wisdom to come in the forefront. Putting it in another way, we can say that when knowledge is transformed into wisdom, there is no thought process involved to bring out the wisdom. It becomes spontaneous. Kindly think about it. This is very, very important for all of us. In any field, if the boss asks us to do something, if we don't do the manana, then it will not be effective. But when what he asks, if we are in a position to get it registered, and when we transform the knowledge to wisdom, and when we go and actually do that, it comes. Think about it. In our daily life, we are doing it, but we are not extending it when the spiritual journey starts. Most of the things which we are asked to do as a part of our discipline, we are doing it in our daily life. The only problem is the moment we say it is a spiritual journey, unknowingly the mind sets a evolve. Not that we do not know, We know that. For all our other this thing, otherwise we would not have been able to master in many things. There is concentration, reflection, everything is there. There is Vairagya is there. Abhyasa is there. Everything we have done it. So far at this age, when we sit and look back, all these things we have done it. What is happening? It will come back itself.
Admit all.
Can you see now?
Amma, admit all.
Okay. Because something else comes in between. So, Papa, right from the beginning, you might all be knowing very well that Papa did not seek anything from outside. Right from 1920 onwards, when the struggle started, when according to him, when he was drawn, the first touch when it came through Gandhiji, and when he started chanting Ram Ram, and then along with that he was going through various texts, and it was not a simple reading. It was not a simple reading or hearing. His reading of books did not stop at this stage. He went on and on, reading more and more books. The Greek philosophers, Roman orators, German and French dramatists, American and English humorists, and books on crime and detection, and the masterly novels of authors of various countries in the original or in translation absorbed all his attention during his spare hours. In fact, he devoted only a very small part of his time toward the institute studies. When the mind was perfectly arid and the thought of God repellent to it, when peace and equanimity lost their charm for him, in some mysterious way, he came upon the works of Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Swami Ramtirtha. The words of Swami Vivekananda resonant with the throb and thrill of his intimate experience of God revelation, followed by a loud and insistent call from the darkness of non-belief into the light of living faith. His tremendous renunciation and the great spiritual power which gave him his strength to carry the message of Vedanta across the seas to distant land, where he delivered the message of our rishis about Vivekananda, he says, and the faith with all these made Ramdas's heart fertile again, and the faith which had well nigh become dead and gone, revived again, grew up with rapidity, that there was total transformation within him from the life of negation of the life of positive assertion with regard to the existence of God. However, he became a radical believer. Henceforth, he concentrated his mind upon the Hindu and Christian scriptures. He read the translation of the Bhagavad Gita. This great scripture cast a spell upon him. He could even then get from it flashes that illumined his heart, though most part of it did not reveal their secrets to him. So what type of reading he was doing? The great scripture cast a spell upon him. He could even then get from it flashes. Again, in the passage Divinity, during the bhajan, Vittal Rao would lose himself in a blissful state of self-forgetfulness. He now commenced reading afresh the lofty teachings of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the works of Swami Vivekananda, Swami Ramtirtha, as well as other religious books like the Yoga Vasishta, with an intense interest. These works seemed now to unveil to him a deeper meaning and significance than they ever did before, and had the effect of accelerating the speed of spiritual evolution that was subtly taking place within him. So that means the effect is there. So what is needed is our any amount of listening cannot make one gain wisdom. The knowledge gained through reading or listening must be assimilated and brought within the warp and woof of our understanding. Then alone can knowledge become wisdom. Therefore, Arjuna is asked not to accept Krishna's song of life as such, but he has been asked to independently think over all that the Lord had declared, to put the ideas between the mind and intellect, and to chew them properly is reflection. Each one will have to get his own individual confirmation from his own bosom. We should get the satisfaction. So listening or reading will become a useful tool only when the assimilation and absorption and reflection takes place. A very great lesson Papa gives us from his own experience. That's why he said, seek guidance always from within. If what Ramdas says is in agreement with your inner voice, follow it. Don't accept Ramdas' suggestion without a sanction from within. Meaning what? We try to hear Papa's and then we try to go within. And then get it confirmed from within. The more a man becomes reflective and meditative, the nearer he approaches the true springs of life. That means nothing is treated as casual. Everything is treated with all its seriousness. So since yesterday, Papa was hammering this, that Ramnam is the mainstay for all of us. So what should be the attitude while we chant? He said straight away that you are chanting the name of your own self. Not that you have to get anything, you have to realize that he is there. Entire sadhana has been put in a few words there. No? You are chanting the name of your own self. Everybody has forgotten. What was the date?
Swami, one doubt, Swamiji.
Ah.
Are we qualified enough to get guidance from inside, Swamiji?
Eh?
Are we qualified enough to get guidance from inside?
Yeah. All of us are qualified. The very fact that we are sitting now hearing, that is the first step. We have to add something more, that's all. In taking Ramnam, you think you are taking the name of the deity living in some far off heaven, but you are really repeating the name of your own immortal self, and that is Atma Ram. You do not know that you are Ram, so you must ceaselessly remember him until you are awakened to the consciousness that you are Ram yourself. How can you remove forgetfulness? By continuous remembrance of the Atman, until you know that you are the Atman. So you are repeating the name of your own immortal, infinite, eternal self. Do not take the name thinking that the name is of one who is far away from you, of one who is other than you. Know that you are taking your own name. Ram is a synonym for self or Atman. You are already the self. You can be conscious of yourself by constantly remembering the self. So we were trying to understand that, no? Because for enabling to understand, yes, sir.
Papa also said that Papa Mataji is everywhere, God is everywhere, you are everywhere.
Yeah, but unless we do the manana, we will not be able to understand it, no?
Yeah.
When he said Papa Mataji is everywhere, the power within them, the subtle and mysterious power within them is everywhere. He is called God, who is everywhere. He is in you, you are everywhere. So the subtle and mysterious power is within us. Because the context is that somebody made a comment that certain people see only God in a frame. So Papa immediately asked, what did you do? You put Papa Mataji's photo. Somebody wanted somebody else's photo. But actually Papa Mataji is within you, God is within you, Papa Mataji is everywhere, God is everywhere, you are everywhere. That means the life principle, the prana, the subtle and mysterious and subtle energy, power, it is within, that which is within Papa Mataji is everywhere, which is called God, who is everywhere, which is in you, who is everywhere. So this common factor has to be identified. It is for that purpose we are chanting. It is for that purpose.
To love all means to love none.
Love all means to love
Love
none.
all for the sake of the self.
That is all a process. It is the outcome of a process, you know.
Yes.
When we reach that stage, we will understand the meaning.
Yes, yes.
To love all is to love none. At this point, when we are seeing everybody as separate, we will not be able to understand. We can only read. So that is also the.
Papa says when you love everybody as Atman அப்படிங்கிறாரு.
No, that is right. That
Atman, it is not to be seen. Yeah.
Atman cannot be seen. So immediately when we hear Papa say, you are chanting the name of your own self, we try to go within and find out, the thought is trying to find out. The thought is trying to find out. There is no object there. Okay. So immediately you start plumbing deep. As Papa said, the heart is working, digestion is going on, lung is breathing, blood circulation is going on. How does it go? Which power is activating that? Which power gives me the feeling that I am? So this is how we try to go within. Because initially, if we find it extremely difficult to process it, Papa has also allowed us to bring any form. But name it as the form as an all-pervading spirit. The form represents the power. So Mataji was using Papa's form. And then she also knew that the form represents the indwelling and all-pervading reality. So we can also use any form we are comfortable with. Because you are right, it is very difficult. When Papa says you are chanting the name of your own self, you are the self. How do I understand the self? Because it cannot be objectified. It is the subject, it is the very power because of which all these words are coming. How am I to, when I see an object through my eyes, with the same eyes I cannot see the one who is making me to see. Because that is the very subject. So by trying to go, when we try to go inward, if the abstract idea is not helping us, we can substitute with the form. The only thing.
Love the forms, the likes and dislikes come.
If we love the form, likes and dislikes come.
That's what, each one has to find out. Not that everybody develops bhakti there, no. Then that bhakti, the only thing is we try to understand that, this bhakti is not limited to this form, to all forms also. Like me, so many people will be pursuing this path. To each of them, they are inspired through so many forms. So the form represents the single reality, but it is inspired through many forms. To somebody, the Guru is the form. Because the Guru has awakened, the Guru is so much close, as in Mataji's place. The awakening came through that particular form. So she sought permission to use Papa's name. So through the form, she was able to connect herself with the formless, retain the same reverence to the form. So anything can be attempted.
Can the cosmic self can be yourself?
Can we?
Cosmic self can be yourself.
Yeah, cosmic self is
Papa
it.
says.
Everything
Everything is yourself.
Everything is yourself, Papa says.
Whatever way, there is no hard and fast road. We have to go within and find out for our own. This cannot come from outside.
Yes.
The path to be chosen. Now they have given us when we want to reach it, nowadays the GPS gives you the direction. But we have to drive in. GPS by itself will not take us to the destination. We have to drive according to that and go. We have to do the doing. Then only it will come. So Papa has given this. That's why he said, seek guidance always from within. But this, by constantly reading and assimilating and absorbing, it will slowly prepare the mind to go inward. But very important, very important. Now we are in a very crucial stage. All spiritual masters keep on drilling into us the truth. that the end and aim of all spiritual discipline is to plumb deep within, still the mind, and to know and realize the presence of God, who is love and bliss, pure love and bliss. Our revered master, beloved Papa Swami Ramdas, has also given some clues to quieten the mind in his various teachings. Some of these clues have been culled out and presented in this booklet, Inward Journey. Earnest seekers may find it useful to pause after reading each page, reflect on the theme, live with it, become still. This is more important than to continue reading. Let the book do its work to awaken the seeker from his conditioned thinking. So the first is, man's quest for happiness can end only by realizing the fountain of eternal joy residing within himself. The sooner you realize, the better for you. Repeat the name as a means to that end. You must still the mind, be free from the sense of duality. Know that you and the God you worship are one and the same. Transcend name, form, and duality. There is then no otherness for you. Fear leaves you. Consciousness of the self dawns in you. You are liberated from the clutches of desire and ignorance, from the clutches of bondage, misery, pain, and sorrow. This is the goal you have to reach. This is the first passage. Man's quest for happiness can end only by his realizing the fountain of eternal joy residing within himself. The sooner you realize, the better for you. Repeat the name as a means to that end. You must still the mind and be free from the sense of duality. Know that you and the God that you worship are one and the same. Know that you and the God you worship are one and the same. Transcend name, form, and duality. There is then no otherness for you. Fear leaves you, consciousness of the self dawns in you, and you are liberated from the clutches of desire and ignorance, from the clutches of bondage, misery, pain, and sorrow. This is the goal you have to reach. So when we read this, we apply our mind again and again and again. You and the God you seek is one and the same. You and the God you worship is one and the same.
That means Ram is in me.
Eh?
Ram is in me.
Ram is in me.
Ah. So we try to find out. Okay, I have read it. I have understood it. Literally, I have understood it. Intellectually, I have understood it. Now, kindly guide me as to how it becomes a reality in my life. So we try to go within. Whenever the mind goes out, take Ram Nam. Again, the Ram Nam, we have been told Ram stands for the self within you. Again we try. Again the mind goes out. Again we try, One page, as one quotation. So today we are he wants us to apply our mind more and more on reflection, vimarsha, chewing. What? And chewing it. For what? Then the knowledge gets converted, gets transformed into wisdom. Wisdom is an inner experience, knowledge is an outer experience. Knowledge helps us to go within, and wisdom always guides us. And it comes out through our memory, without any thought process. It's a wonderful mechanism God has gifted us. So for decades now we have been doing Ram Nam. Now it has taken us to a stage where the Ram Nam is slowly taking us within. Not that we have to stop chanting, that let it continue. But now, along with the chanting, we snatch a few moments and try to apply this in our mind, and then slowly, out of say half an hour, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that, we try this method. And when he blesses us with a glimpse of it, and that is what Papa talks about sweetness. What is it? So when Papa talks always about sweetness of Ram Nam, what does it mean? The ecstasy born of that, born of getting connected with our core of our being. That feeling, pleasant feeling, which cannot be explained in any other way. So the word sweet is something very pleasant, to hear. Sweet and bitter, sweet. It's pleasant to hear. So the sense of the pleasant experience we get by chanting, by remembering him. Chanting will upgrade itself to remembering him, and then remembering him gives us this sweetness. Yes. So out of our days, so many chantings, we will try to get a few, and we will try this. Because we are realizing it is because of our repeated chanting that we have now come to this stage to understand this. Not that it has gone in vain, but now we are making it more effective. So the reflection aspect is what is emphasized by Papa. Anything else from anybody?
Swamiji,
Ah,
in God Experience Volume 2, by Swami Ramdas, page number 39, it has been very well depicted that Mataji has given noble revenge, in the heading of noble revenge, Papa has referred. There is such a thing as noble revenge. It means if anybody does you harm, you do good to him in return. You heard of that man who was about to strangle Mataji at the Kasargod. When he pushed her, she fell on a water path, tumbled down from the veranda onto the ground and got severely hurt. When he came here recently, with what love, he was seated by her. Astonishing not. He would not identify the person, but he himself confessed he was the man. He wept in repentance. She gave him food, new clothes, sent him away with some money for his expenses. She never felt he had done anything wrong. That is an example of noble revenge. Swamiji,
yes. Okay, now we are talking about reflection, no? That is okay, reflection. How to transform the knowledge into wisdom.
Mataji is that it is not that much easy. If a normal person
So let us try. Let us concentrate more and more on this aspect, so that it becomes a practice. Otherwise, immediately the mind will take us to so many things, and it gets diluted. Not that.
seems to be as an anecdote, but it is
It is okay. We are trying to now understand more and more on the word reflection. And during Nama chanting, we try to sit for some time and then bring these thoughts of Papa that we are chanting the name of our own self.
Yes, yes.
So, how am I to understand? The self cannot be objectified. At the same time, I have only a vehicle called the thought. Thought needs some object to concentrate. So I find it extremely difficult now to go inward. Kindly help me. Like that, when we plead, he immediately takes us to, he gives us some clues by which we are taken to the inner chambers, which is otherwise called the reflection, concentration, meditation, stilling of the mind, silencing the mind. So let us all try that. No? Let us try to ensure that the mind, at least for a few moments, gets concentrated on upon this particular one. Otherwise, again, we will be continuing as before. This particular word, you are chanting the name of your own self. How am I to experience? This should be the question that should be well up in our mind to ourselves. We are not seeking answer from outside. If we seek from outside, it is only hearing, listening, but not reflecting. Okay.
Swami, you said the love of all is to love none. Can you explain to me? I didn't understand.
We cannot, even if we explain, it cannot be understood now. Because to us, we are all separated,
Yes.
It is an outcome of a process of that vision. When we try to identify the common factor in everybody, then we will not love a particular person. Everything becomes everybody now. Intellectually, we can understand that much now. When we try to identify the common factor in everybody, we will not see the otherness. So love means duality, When there is otherness, we say we love him. That is why Papa said to love all is to love none. Because you don't have to, when I say every shirt is mine, I don't have to say this is my shirt. The moment I say this is my shirt, automatically the other shirts are not mine. So that stage, even if we intellectually understand, it will not help us, because it is a stage, it is the outcome of a process where we try to identify the common factor in all. Oh, suddenly you will say, to love all is to love none. If we try to understand it with the present level thinking, where we see the otherness, we will never be able to understand. Because it is difficult to understand. It is paradoxical, To love all is to love none. Intellectually speaking, it is paradoxical. But when we raise ourselves to that stage, when Aham Brahmasmi stage, when I see everything as Brahman, then there is no particular creation I have to identify and love them. I become love itself.
Yes.
We should not use the power of discrimination, vivekam, but just
We have to do whatever we have now until we reach that stage. Use the power of discrimination, sort out, sift out what is good for you, pursue that path, and see for yourself, evaluate yourself, how the broadening takes place in you. The broadening can take place only by experiencing the presence of the common factor in all. Universal love and service based upon the vision of divinity. Divinity means the common factor, the source of all of us. The self in me is the self everywhere, all these things you would have heard. When we realize, experience the presence of the self, automatically it is beyond all names and forms. So when we come down to the individual level, what comes out is loving all and serving all. And we will not be attached to any one person, we will be attached to the whole person. It comes out in the form of affection, not in the form of attachment. We become affectionate to everybody, but we will not be attached to anything. Anyway, these are all the outcome of the processes. We can watch ourselves. 10 years back, 15 years back, what we were and what are we now. Whether it has gone inside, whether it has been able to take us out, whether we are localizing, whether we are loving a particular individual or whether we are hating a particular individual, or immediately the old habit comes, immediately, you level it. Like the ripples on the water, the leveling is immediately done. Ripples do come. When we are, so long as we have got this embodied self, but in the shortest possible time, it gets squared up. So these are all the outcomes. Let us not concentrate on the outcome now. Let the outcome is the process. Outcome is the end result of the process, So let us be on the process. And the process will take us. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram.